over 40 years, no one took it more seriously than any of the pro forma bureaucratic complexities in the Soviet Union. The guard had been drinking, the only form of solace in this harsh, cold land. His eyes were not focusing, and his smile was too fixed. Tolkazi fumbled handing over his pass, and the guard lurched down to retrieve it. He never came back up. Tolkazi's pistol was the last thing the man felt, a cold circle at the base of his skull, and he died without knowing why, or even how. Ibrahim went behind the guard's desk to get the weapon the man had been only too happy to display for the engineers he'd protected. He lifted the body and moved it awkwardly to leave it slumped at the desk. Just another swing shift worker asleep at his post. Then waved his comrades into the building. Rasul and Mohammed raced to the door. "It is time, my brothers." Tolkazi handed the AK-47 rifle and ammo belt to his taller friend. Rasul hefted the weapon briefly, checking to see that a round was chambered and the safety off. Then he slung the ammunition belt over his shoulder and snapped the bayonet in place before speaking for the first time that night. "Paradise awaits." Tolkazi composed himself, smoothed his hair, straightened his tie, and clipped the security pass to his white laboratory coat before leading his comrades up the 6 flights of stairs. Ordinary procedure dictated that to enter the master control room, one first had to be recognized by one of the operations staffers. And so it happened. Nikolai Barsov seemed surprised when he saw Tolkazi through the door's tiny window. "You're not on duty tonight, Isha." "One of my valves went bad this afternoon, and I forgot to check the repair status before I went off duty. You know the one, the auxiliary feed valve on kerosene number 8. If it's still down tomorrow, we'll have to reroute, and you know what that means." Barsov grunted agreement. "True enough, Isha." The middle-aged engineer thought Tolkazi liked the semi-Russian diminutive. He was badly mistaken. "Stand back while I open this damned hatch." The heavy steel door swung outward. Barsov hadn't been able to see Rasul and Mohammed before, and scarcely had time now. 3 7.62mm rounds from the Kalashnikov exploded into his chest. The master control room contained a duty watch crew of 20, and looked much like the control center for a railroad or power plant. The high walls were cross-hatched with pipeline schematics, dotted with hundreds of lights to indicate which control valve was doing what. That was only the main display. Individual segments of the system were broken off onto separate status boards, mainly controlled by computer, but constantly monitored by half the duty engineers. The staff could not fail to note the sound of the 3 shots. But none of them were armed. With elegant patience, Rasul began to work his way across the room, using his Kalashnikov expertly and firing 1 round into each watch engineer. At first, they tried to run away, until they realized that Rasul was herding them into a corner like cattle, killing as he moved. 2 men bravely got on their command phones to summon a fast response team of KGB security troops. Rasul shot one of them at his post, but the other ducked around the line of command consoles to evade the gunfire and bolted for the door, where Tolkazi stood. It was Boris, Tolkazi saw, the party favorite, head of the local collective, the man who had befriended him, making him the special pet native of the Russian engineers. Ibrahim could remember every time this godless pig had patronized him, the savage foreigner imported to amuse his Russian masters. Tolkazi raised his pistol. "Isha!" the man screamed in terror and shock. Tolkazi shot him in the mouth, and hoped Boris didn't die too quickly to hear the contempt in his voice. "Infidel." He was pleased that Rasul had not killed this one. His quiet friend could have all the rest. The other engineers screamed through